Afternoon, everyone. So these are chapters 2 and 3 of Mr Stink by David Williams. "Mother," said Annabel. Mother finished chewing her food completely, then swallowed it before finally replying, "Yes, my darling child. Chloe just took one of her sausages off her plate and hid it in her napkin." It was Saturday evening, and the Crumb family sat at the dining room table, missing Strictly Come Dancing and the X Factor as they ate their dinner. Mother had banned watching television and eating at the same time. She had decided that it was awfully common. Instead, the family had to sit in icy silence and eat their dinner staring at the walls. Or sometimes, Mother would choose a subject for discussion. Normally what she would do if she ran the country. That was her absolute favourite. Mother had given up running a beauty salon to stand for Parliament and had no doubt in her mind that one day she would be Prime Minister. Mother had named the white Persian family cat Elizabeth after the Queen. She was obsessed with being posh. There was a downstairs loo that was kept locked for very important guests, as if a member of the royal family was going to swing by for a waz. There was a china tea set in the cupboard that was for best and had never once been used. Mother even sprayed air freshener in the garden. Mother would never go out and not even answer the door unless immaculately groomed, with her beloved pearls around her neck and her hair made stiff with enough hairspray to create its own hole in the ozone layer. She was so used to turning up her nose at everybody and everything, it was in danger of staying that way. Here is a picture of her. My word, she looks posh, doesn't she? Unsurprisingly, Father, or Dad as he preferred to be called, when Mother wasn't around, opted for a quiet life and usually didn't speak unless spoken to. He was a big, powerful man, but his wife made him feel small inside. Dad was only 40, but he was already going bald and starting to stoop. He worked long hours at a car factory on the edge of town. "Did you hide a sausage in your napkin, Chloe?" demanded Mother. "You are always trying to get me into trouble," snapped Chloe. This was true. Annabel was 2 years younger than Chloe, and one of those children adults think are perfect, but other children don't like because they are snotty little goody-goodies. Annabel loved getting Chloe into trouble. She would lie on her bed in her bright pink room upstairs and roll around crying, shouting, "Chloe, get off me! You are hurting me!" Even Chloe was quietly writing away in her room next door. You could say that Annabel was evil. She was certainly evil to her older sister. "Oh, sorry, Mother. It just slipped into my lap," said Chloe guiltily. Her plan had been to smuggle the sausage out for Mr Stink. She had been thinking about him all evening, imagining him shivering out there in the cold, dark December night as they sat in the warm, eating away. "Well then, Chloe, unroll it from your napkin and put it back on your plate," ordered Mother. "I am so ashamed that we are even eating sausages for dinner. I gave your father strict instructions to dispatch himself to the supermarket and purchase 4 wild sea bass fillets, and he comes home with a packet of sausages. If anyone called around and saw us eating food like this, it would be hideously embarrassing. They'd think we were savages." "I'm sorry, my darling wife," protested Dad. "They were all out of wild sea bass fillets." He gave Chloe the tiniest wink as he said this, confirming her suspicion that he had deliberately disobeyed Mother's orders. Chloe smiled at him discreetly. She and her dad both loved sausages and lots of other food that Mother didn't approve of, like burgers, fish fingers, fizzy drinks, and especially Mr Whippy ice cream. The devil's spoon, Mother called it. I have never eaten anything from a van, she would say. I'd rather die. Right now, all hands on deck as we clear up, said Mother, when they had finished eating. Annabel, my precious angel, you clear the table. Chloe, you can wash up. And husband, you can dry. When she said all hands on deck, what she really meant was everybody's hands except hers. As the rest of the family all went about their duties, Mother reclined on the sofa and started unwrapping a wafer-thin chocolate mint. She allowed herself 1 chocolate mint a day. She nibbled so infuriatingly slowly she made each one last an hour. One of my Benedict's luxury chocolate mints has gone walkies again, she called out. Annabel shot Chloe an accusing look before returning to the dining room to collect some more plates. I bet it was you, fatty, she hissed. Be nice, Annabel, chided Dad. Chloe felt guilty, even though it wasn't her who had been scoffing her mother's chocolates. She and Dad assumed their familiar positions at the sink. Chloe, why were you trying to hide one of your sausages? He asked. If you didn't like it, you could have just said. I wasn't trying to hide it, Dad. Then what were you doing with it? Suddenly, Annabel appeared with another stack of dirty plates, and the pair fell silent. They waited a moment until she had gone. Well, Dad, you know that tramp who always sits on the same bench every... Mr Stink? Yes. Well, I thought his dog looked hungry, and I wanted to bring her a sausage or two. It was a lie, but not a big one. Well, I suppose there isn't any harm in giving his poor dog a bit of food, said Dad. Just this once, though, you understand? But just this once, Chloe, or Mr Stink will expect you to feed his dog every day. Now, I hid another packet of sausages behind the creme fraiche, whatever that is. I'll cook them up for you before your mother gets up tomorrow morning, and you can give them. What are you two conspiring about? Demanded Mother from the sitting room. We're just debating which of the Queen's 4 children we most admire, said Dad. I'm putting forward Anne for her equestrian skills, though Chloe is making a strong case for Prince Charles and his unrivalled range of organic biscuits. Very good, carry on, boomed the voice from next door. Dad smiled at Chloe cheekily. Chapter 3. The Wanderer. Mr Stink ate the sausages in an unexpectedly elegant manner. First he took out a little linen napkin and tucked it under his chin. Next he took an antique silver knife and fork out of his breast pocket. Finally he produced a dirty gold-rimmed china plate which he gave to the Duchess to lick clean before he set down the sausages neatly upon it. Chloe stared at his cutlery and plate. This seemed like another clue to the past. Had he perhaps been a gentleman thief who crept into country houses at midnight and made off with the family silver? Do you have any more sausages? Asked Mr Stink, his mouth full of sausage. No, just those 8, I'm afraid, replied Chloe. She stood at a safe distance from the tramp, so that her eyes wouldn't start weeping at the smell. The Duchess looked up at Mr. Stink as he ate the sausages with a heartbreaking longing that suggested that all love and all beauty was contained in those tubes of meat. "There you go, Duchess," said Mr. Stink, slowly lowering half a sausage into the dog's mouth. The Duchess was so hungry she didn't even chew. Instead, she swallowed it in half a millisecond before returning to her expression of sausage longing. Had any man or beast ever eaten a sausage so quickly? Chloe was half expecting a gentleman in a blazer and slacks with a clipboard and stopwatch to appear and declare that the little black dog had set a new sausage-eating international world record. "So, young Chloe, is everything fine at home?" asked Mr. Stink as he let the Duchess lick his fingers clean of any remnants of sausage juice. "I'm sorry," replied a befuddled Chloe. "I asked if everything was fine at home, if things were tickety-boo. I'm not sure you would be spending your Sunday talking to an old vagabond like me." "Vagabond?" "I don't like the word tramp. It makes you think of someone who smells." Chloe tried to conceal her surprise. Even the Duchess looked puzzled, and she didn't speak English, only dog. "I prefer vagabond or wanderer," continued Mr. Stink. The way he put it, thought Chloe, it sounded almost poetic, especially wanderer. She would love to be a wanderer. She would wander all around the world if she could, not stay in this boring little town where nothing happened that hadn't happened the day before. "There's nothing wrong at home. Everything is fine," said Chloe adamantly. "Are you sure?" inquired Mr. Stink, with the wisdom some people have that cuts right through you like a knife through butter. Things were in fact not at all fine at home for Chloe. She was often ignored. Her mother doted on Annabel, probably because her youngest daughter was like a miniature version of her. Every inch of every wall in the house was covered with celebrations of Annabel's infinite achievements. Photographs of her standing smugly on winners' podiums, certificates bearing her name, emblazoned in italic gold, trophies and statuettes and medals engraved with "Winner, First Place," or "Little Creep." I made up the last one. The more Annabel achieved, the more Chloe felt like a failure. Her parents spent most of their lives providing a chauffeur service for Annabel's out-of-school activities. Her schedule was even exhausting to look at. Monday, 5 a.m. swimming training, 6 a.m. clarinet lesson, 7 a.m. dance lesson, tap and contemporary jazz, 8 a.m. dance lesson, ballet, 9 till 4, school, 4 p.m. drama lesson, improvisation and movement, 5 p.m. piano lesson, 6 p.m. brownies, 7 p.m. girls' brigade, 8 p.m. javelin practice. Tuesday, 4 a.m. violin lesson, 5 a.m. stilt walking practice, 6 a.m. chess society, 7 a.m. learning Japanese, 8 a.m. flower arranging class, 9 till 4 school. 4 p.m. creative writing workshop, 5 p.m. porcelain frog painting class, 6 p.m. heart practice, 7 p.m. watercolour painting class, 8 p.m. dance class ballroom. Wednesday, 3 a.m. choir practice, 4 a.m. long jump training, 5 a.m. high jump training, 6 a.m. long jump training again, 7 a.m. trombone lesson, 8 a.m. scuba diving, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. school, 4 p.m. chef training, 5 p.m. mountain climbing, 6 p.m. tennis, 7 p.m. drama workshop, Shakespeare and his contemporaries, 8 p.m. show jumping, Thursday, 2 a.m. learning Arabic, 3 a.m. dance lesson, breakdance, hip-hop, crumping, 4 a.m. oboe lesson, 5 a.m. Tour de France cycling training, 6 a.m. Bible study, 7 a.m. gymnastics training, 8 a.m. calligraphy class, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. school, 4 p.m. work experience shadowing a brain surgeon, 5 p.m. opera singing lesson, 6 p.m. NASA Space Exploration Workshop. 7 p.m, cake baking class level 5. 8 p.m, attend lecture on a history of Victorian moustaches. Friday, 1 a.m, triangle lesson grade 5. 2 a.m, badminton. 3 a.m, archery. 4 a.m, flying to Switzerland for ski jump practice. Learn about X from an expert on X, to be confirmed on outbound flight. 6 a.m, do quick ski jump and then board inbound flight. Take pottery class on flight. 8 a.m, Thai kickboxing. Remember to take skis off before class. 9 a.m to 4 p.m, school. 4 p.m, channel swimming training. 5 p.m, motorbike maintenance workshop. 6 p.m, candle making. 7 p.m, otter rearing class. 8 p.m, television viewing. A choice between either a documentary about carpet manufacturing in Belgium or a Polish cartoon from the 1920s about a depressed owl. And that was just the weekdays. The weekends were when things really got busy for Annabelle. No wonder Chloe felt ignored. "Well, I suppose things at home are," stammered Chloe. She wanted to talk to him about it all, but she wasn't sure how. Bong, 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 bong. No, I haven't lost my mind, readers. That was meant to be the church clock striking 4. Chloe gasped and looked at her watch. 4 o'clock. Mother made her do her homework from 4 until 6 every day, even in the school holidays when she didn't have any to do. "Sorry, Mr. Stink, I have to go," she said. Secretly, Chloe was relieved. No one had ever asked her how she felt before, and she was beginning to panic. "Really, child?" said the old man, looking disappointed. Yes, I need to get home. Mother will be furious if I don't get at least a C in maths next term. She sets me extra tests during the holidays." "That doesn't sound much like a holiday to me," said Mr. Stink. Chloe shrugged. "Mother doesn't believe in holidays." She stood up. "I hope you like the sausages," she said. "They were scrumptious," said Mr. Stink. "Thank you. Unimaginable kindness." Chloe nodded and turned to run off towards home. If she took a shortcut, she'd be back before Mother. "Farewell!" Mr. Stink called after her softly.